Hello friends, welcome back to VocabBuilder. Today I'm going to tell you how to stop giving your energy to everyone and start becoming the person people truly respect and admire. Being constantly available keeps you stuck in the shadows. But when you learn to value your time and focus on yourself, you become rare, powerful, and unforgettable. In this video, you'll discover how to shift from always saying yes to becoming someone who moves with purpose and stands out everywhere. Let's get started. Have you ever noticed that diamonds are found deep in the earth, rare and difficult to access? Meanwhile, sand is everywhere, free, available, and often taken for granted. This is the fundamental difference between being valuable and being available. You see, in life, too many people make the mistake of being too easily accessible. They respond to every call, every message, every demand instantly. They say yes to every request, show up everywhere they're invited, and give their energy away to anyone who asks. And what happens? People start to value them less. This isn't because people are cruel or ungrateful. It's because human psychology is simple. We value what is rare. We chase what is hard to get. We respect what is scarce. When you are always available, your time and energy lose their weight. You become like the air, essential, yet invisible. But when you guard your energy, when you protect your presence, you transform yourself into something rare, something precious. Let's get real. We live in a world addicted to instant gratification. People want instant replies, instant likes, instant attention. And we often feel pressured to comply, to answer that email at midnight, to pick up that call during dinner, to respond to that message before we even finish our own thoughts. But here's a question: at what cost? When you're always available, you're telling the world, my time isn't that important. My energy is unlimited. My boundaries don't exist. Slowly, without even realizing it, you train people to believe that they can interrupt you at any moment. You become a public resource rather than a respected individual. This constant availability drains you. It fragments your focus. It turns your life into a string of reactions rather than intentional actions. And worst of all, it makes people take you for granted. Imagine someone who is always free. You start to assume they'll always be there. You stop appreciating their effort. Their presence becomes background noise rather than a gift. Now think about someone who values their time deeply. When they show up, you feel honored. You listen more closely. You treasure their presence. That's the power of being valuable, not available. Value is created through scarcity. When something is everywhere, it loses its magic. When something is rare, it becomes desirable, respected, even revered. Your time, your energy, your presence, these are your most valuable resources. When you give them away freely and constantly, they lose their impact. But when you guard them carefully, people begin to understand that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. This is not about playing games or manipulating people. It's about understanding your worth. It's about designing your life intentionally so that your resources are spent in alignment with your goals, dreams, and mental well-being. When you reduce your availability, you raise your value. Most people struggle with saying no. We fear that by declining, we'll hurt someone's feelings. We fear rejection, judgment, conflict. But every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying no to something that does. You are saying no to your rest, no to your growth, no to your peace, no to your dreams. Learning to say no is one of the most liberating skills you can develop. When you say no, you are not rejecting the person. You are protecting your purpose. You are honoring your boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to isolate you. They are gates that protect your inner garden. When you build strong boundaries, you teach the world how to treat you. You show that your time is precious, your mental space is sacred, and your dreams are non-negotiable. Start simple. Turn off your phone when you're working on something meaningful. Decline invitations that drain you rather than energize you. Schedule uninterrupted time for yourself and guard it like your life depends on it. Practice delaying responses instead of reacting instantly. Every small boundary you create is a brick in the fortress that guards your value. When you're not constantly available, you create the space for deep focus. And focus is where magic happens. In a world of distractions, the ability to focus deeply is more valuable than any technical skill. When you protect your focus, you strengthen your craft. You produce higher quality work. You develop deeper insights. You make decisions that align with your true self rather than reacting to the noise around you. Focus isn't just about productivity. It's about presence. It's about being fully engaged in whatever you choose to do, whether that's your work, your relationships, your hobbies, or your personal growth. When you try to be everywhere for everyone, you spread yourself thin. Your relationships become shallow. Your experiences become superficial. Your sense of self becomes diluted. Choosing to be valuable means choosing depth. It means investing your energy in fewer things, but experiencing them fully. It means building strong connections rather than countless surface-level interactions. When you go deep, you create a life that is meaningful, not just busy. You cultivate experiences that nourish your soul rather than just fill your schedule. People will always push as far as you allow them. If you answer every message instantly, they'll expect instant replies forever. If you always say yes to extra tasks, they'll keep piling them on you. If you constantly sacrifice your priorities for others, they'll assume it's normal. But when you start valuing yourself, people will resist. They might accuse you of changing. They might call you selfish. They might try to guilt trip you. Stay strong. Over time, they will adapt. They will start respecting your time. They will understand that your availability is a privilege, not a right. Many people stay constantly available because they crave approval. They fear conflict. They want to be liked. But when you live to please everyone, you end up pleasing no one, especially not yourself. When you shift from being a pleaser to being a leader of your own life, you start making decisions based on your values, not others' expectations. A leader doesn't dilute themselves to fit every situation. They stand firm, focused, and purposeful. When you become valuable, you stop following other people's agendas and start creating your own. Imagine if your energy was like money. Would you hand out your hard-earned cash to anyone who asked, at any time, for any reason? Of course not. You would spend wisely, invest carefully, and protect it fiercely. Your energy is your most precious currency. Every interaction, every commitment, every yes is an expenditure. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will this move me closer to my vision? Will this nourish me or deplete me? When you begin to view your energy as a finite resource, you naturally become more selective. You stop scattering it everywhere and start channeling it where it matters most. Some people confuse setting boundaries with being cold or arrogant. They think that if you're not always available, you don't care. The truth is, when you become selectively available, you show up more powerfully and authentically. When you are everywhere, you are diluted. When you are selective, you are concentrated. You bring your full self to the moments and relationships that matter most. Your presence becomes a rare and beautiful gift rather than an obligation. When you begin valuing yourself and setting boundaries, it inspires others around you. People notice your strength. They feel the respect you command. They might even start reevaluating their own boundaries. By standing firm in your value, you become a silent teacher. You show that it's possible to honor oneself without guilt. You demonstrate that it's okay to prioritize personal well-being and growth. This ripple effect can transform not just your life, but also your family, friendships, and even your workplace culture. Remember the diamond hidden deep underground. It became precious not because it was everywhere, but because it was rare, refined, and shaped by immense pressure and time. You can become that diamond too, but it requires courage to embrace scarcity. It requires discipline to say no, It requires patience to focus deeply instead of scattering yourself everywhere. By becoming less available, you become more impactful. By being selective, you become magnetic. So, remember, stop being constantly available and start being truly valuable. When you respect your time and focus on growth, people will naturally value you more. If this video helped you, make sure to like it and share it with a friend. Here on VocabBuilder, we help you learn and improve your English skills while building confidence. Comment below. Are you ready to be valuable? Thanks for watching.